Tonight is a very auspicious night. Kali Puja, worship of the Divine Mother. All days are not the same. Some days are very special. Why? Look, on 25th December, millions of people go to the churches and they pray. And they create such a beautiful atmosphere. We can feel it when we go to the churches. Similarly, Durga Puja, Kali Puja, on these special days, millions and millions of people think about God, Divine Mother. As a result, they create a tremendous atmosphere. But our Vedanta says, Tadinam Durdinam Manne Megachannam Na Durdinam. That day is really bad day, the day we do not think about God. So these are the special days, special nights. We think about God more than on other days. Sri Ramakrishna allowed his disciples to sleep on the Kali Puja night. Go, meditate, pray, whole night. Very auspicious night. Tonight is called Diwali also, the festival of lights. The tradition comes from Ramayana. After killing the demon Ravana, Rama came to Ajodhya, and it is a victory over the demoniacal power, and they illumine the whole city. If you go to Calcutta or some places, you will find, my goodness. I remember when I was a student, we will not sleep. We will go from one place to another and see all the images of the mother in Calcutta. Beautiful decoration, music, night of festivity. So these days are very special days. Worship, mother worship. Today, some students came from Truman University. So I was telling this, transfer this picture of the mother. So they are very curious. They are third year, fourth year college students. Their professor brought one bus loop packed with the students. So when they are curious, I said, what is that? Mother is the Shakti of Brahman. Then I asked one student, can you see the electricity? Can you see the electricity? No. But you can see the manifestation of electricity. Light, fan, anything you see, nothing but the manifestation of the electricity, power. But you do not see the electricity. You touch it, you will get shocked. That is called Shakti, that is Mother, invisible. Then I explained to these students, Brahman, pure consciousness, manifests in psychophysical system in three places. Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Jnana Shakti, the power of knowledge, wisdom, manifests in the buddhi, your intellect. Ichha Shakti, willpower, that manifests in the mind. And Kriya Shakti, that manifests in the body and the senses. It is the whole manifestation of that Shakti, power. That power is within all of us. How to arouse, how to manifest that power within. That is the reason we practice these spiritual disciplines. We worship the Mother. Sometimes Sri Ramakrishna used to sing Jagoma Kulo Kunjalini "O Mother Kunjalini, awaken, awaken, awaken." Through singing, he could rouse the spiritual consciousness of the people. Through touch, through singing, through a look, he could arouse that spiritual power. So tonight I shall sometimes read some of the things from Sri Ramakrishna's life about this worshipping the mother. First I shall read to you that his first vision of Kali. Very dramatic. Extremely. You say Sri Ramakrishna's realization, first vision came through longing, not through spiritual disciplines. Longing, yearning, hunger for God. You know, sometimes when we read Sri Ramakrishna's life, we see seeing the setting sun the other side of the Ganges, Sri Ramakrishna used to cry, "Mother, another day is gone in vain, still thou art not revealed unto me." He used to cry. He used to rub his face on the grass, and the grass would become red from the bleeding of his mouth. And the village women would come to fetch water from the Ganges, would say, "Look, look, that man is suffering from colic pain. You temple guards and say, please go and help him." Oh no, that young priest, he behaves like that. They would ignore. Yearning, longing for God is the only thing needful. He gave a beautiful example. Do you know what is longing? When you see the golden glow in the eastern horizon, what do you think? The sun will rise very soon. But even though the sun has not yet arisen, sun has not yet risen, but we see the golden glow just before sunrise. Similarly, when you have this yearning, longing, please know that you will realize God very soon. That is the indication that Sri Ramakrishna said. Longing, hunger for God. We don't. Problem is our minds are scattered in the world. But Sri Ramakrishna's mind, I want to know God. Is it real? Or it is a fiction? Look how he's really an explorer, scientist. I want to know the truth. Look, his spiritual adventure. Whatever he considered necessary for attaining her vision, he performed with eagerness and wholehearted faith. We heard from the Master that after the regular service was completed, he would continue his worship of her by singing devotional songs of Ram Prasad and other mystics. He was at that time the temple priest of the Kali temple. A young man, 19 years old. 19 years old. This young man is exploding. His heart filled with emotion as he sang those songs with exuberant devotion. He thought, Ram Prasad and other devotees had the vision of the Divine Mother. One can definitely see her. Why can't I? He would often exclaim piteously, Mother, you showed yourself to Ram Prasad. Why want to show yourself to me? I don't want wealth, friends and family, or objects of enjoyment. please reveal yourself to me. Thus he would pray, as tears streamed from his eyes and flooded his chest. This would somewhat lighten the burden of his heart. Then, prompted by burning faith and heartened with hope, he would again try to please the goddess with songs. Thus the master spent his days in worship, meditation, and devotional singing, and day by day his love and longing increased. From that point on, he began spending more time performing worship and serving the goddess than was regularly allotted. While performing worship, he sometimes placed a flower on his head, according to the prescribed rule, and then he would meditate for 2 hours, sitting still as a log. After offering food to the goddess, he might spend a long time thinking that the mother was eating the food. On some mornings, he would spend several hours picking flowers, making garlands, and decorating the goddess. Or, for a long period, he would remain engaged in performing the Vespa service with exuberant devotion. Sometimes, in the afternoon, he would sing for the Divine Mother and become so absorbed and overwhelmed with devotion that he would be unaware that the time for the Vespa service had passed. Although he was reminded again and again, no one could induce him to conduct the Vespa service. Thus the worship continued for some time. Very unusual. Do you know why it's unusual? In the temple, there is a time, this time to this time, the worship will continue, first. Second, he started to Vespa, holding the light for 1 hour. The musicians, their hands are aching. They are complaining to the manager, what is going on? We cannot work here anymore. Then putting the flowers, if he has to meditate for 2 hours, you people will leave the Do you know what happens? At that time, he goes beyond space, time, and causality. When the mind goes to the higher plane of consciousness, sometimes you can experiment on yourself. When the day you are doing meditation, you do not know how long you are meditating. We pass the time. That we find in Sri Ramakrishna. You don't know. Sometimes Rida, his nephew, would go and snatch away his light from his hand. Uncle, stop! Do you know what is called? It is called Raga Bhakti, exuberant devotion. In our worship, I put the flowers on my head. I do not sit 2 hours as a log. Just a few minutes, then I put the flowers, I repeat the mantra, and I do just regular. That is called Vaidhi Bhakti, preparatory devotion. And Raga Bhakti, boom, gone beyond the space-time. I'm just telling you the difference between our worship and Ramakrishna's worship. Listen. It is clear that the Master's steadfastness, devotion, and longing attracted the attention of others in the temple compound. People at first ridicule a person who leaves the unusual path trod by the masses and does something new. The more that person moves forward steadfastly towards his goal, however, the more people's attitudes become transformed into reverence. This actually happened in the case of the Master's activities at that time. When he continued his noble method of worship, he became an object of derision to some people of the temple. But later, others became very respectful towards him. It is said that when he had observed the Master performing worship, Mothu joyfully told Rani Rashmani, "We have got a wonderful worshipper. It seems the goddess will be awakened very soon." In spite of people's criticism, the Master never deviated from his spiritual journey. As the river always flows towards the ocean, so from this point on, the Master's mind continued to move towards the Divine Mother. Temple managers and other workers, they are disgusted. They are thinking this man is breaking all the rules and regulations of the temple. and they complain. You will see Madhur came and secretly watched his worship. He is not, somebody came, is the image made out of a stone? Ha! My mother is Chinmayi, full of consciousness. He will go and praise the fan, which is so soft, and you say it is a stone. My mother breathes. I checked. And you say, my mother, this is a stone image. You see, there are many, many Kali temples in Bengal and other parts of India. But Dakshineshwar Kali temple, if you go and see, as if living, the goddess is living. Because Master awakened the prana of the deity. They call it prana pratishta. That is really, that image is something extraordinary. As the days went by, the Master's love and longing continued to increase. Because of his uninterrupted current of thought towards the Divine Mother, some external signs manifested in his body. His appetite and need for sleep diminished. As blood flowed continually to his chest and head, his chest turned crimson, and his eyes are often drenched with tears. He was filled with constant and intense desire to see the Divine Mother, and he repeatedly asked himself, what shall I do? How can I see her? Signs of anxiety and restlessness were therefore always visible in his body, except when he meditated and performed worship. We heard from the Master that one day, at that time, he was singing to the Divine Mother and praying and crying bitterly. He implored piteously, Mother, I have been praying to you so long. Why don't you listen to me? You showed yourself to Ramprasad. Why won't you show yourself to me? The Master described what happened then. There was an unbearable pain in my heart because I could not have a vision of Mother. Just as a man wrings out a towel with all his strength to get the water out of it, so I felt as if my heart were being wrung out. I began to think I should never see Mother. I was dying of despair. In my agony, I asked myself, what is the use of living this life? Suddenly, my eyes fell on the sword that hangs in the Mother's shrine. Generally, that sword, they use it for some kind of sacrifice, you know. There's a good sacrifice. Some vegetable also, they cut. Sacrifice. Sword that hangs in the Mother's shrine. I decided to end my life then and there. Like a madman, I ran to the sword and seized it. Then I had a marvelous vision of the Mother and fell down unconscious. Afterwards, what happened in the external world and how that day and the next passed, I don't know. But within me, there was a steady flow of undiluted bliss that I had never before experienced. And I felt the immediate presence of the Divine Mother. You see, I think it was 1904, a Canadian doctor recorded the mystic vision of the great people, great teachers of the world. Jesus, Ramakrishna, all these people, saints. I have that copy, the name of the, I think, Cosmic Consciousness or something like that. He recorded when a person gets vision, what he sees and what he describes. That he wrote in that book. And Ramakrishna, in 1904, Ramakrishna was there, a Canadian doctor. Look what he is saying. On another occasion, the Master narrated to us in detail the same wonderful vision. It was as if the room, doors, temple, and everything else vanished altogether. As if there were nothing anywhere. And what I saw was an infinite, shoreless ocean of light. He did not see Kali this form. He saw the light, ocean of light. That ocean was consciousness. However, far and in whatever direction I looked, I saw shining waves, one after another, coming towards me to swallow me up. They were madly rushing towards me from all sides with a terrific noise. Very soon they are upon me, and they pushed me down into unknown depths. I panted and struggled and lost consciousness. Thus the Master told us that during his first vision, he saw a shining ocean of consciousness. But was this pure consciousness, the Divine Mother Kali, bestowing boons and fearlessness? Did the Master see her in that ocean of light? It seems that he did. We heard that when he partially regained his consciousness after the first vision, he uttered plaintively, "Mother, Mother." You see, in Judeo-Christian tradition, they think God as the Father. But in our tradition, God is worshipped both as Father and Mother. Actually, God is beyond gender. God is neither he nor she. Do you know when he, she begin? The moment you have a body. You have a female body, you have a male body. This he, she begin the moment we enter into in the human physical plane. God is pure consciousness. That is our view. But we see Rama, Krishna, or their avatars. Shiva, Vishnu, or Kali, Durga, they are gods and goddesses. You see, the Hindus are very clever. In what way? They have many gods and goddesses. If you do not like Kali, I like Durga. I do not like Durga, I like Kali. So we have plenty of choice. But if you reach Chonji, when the Boshuda was telling, you are taking many forms. Look, all forms come from me. I am Kali, Tara, Shodashi, Bhuvaneshwari, Chinnamasta, Bhagala, Kamala, Matundiri. Dasha Mahavidya, I have 10 forms. I expand, I contract. All are from me. I pervade in all women, all men. I am the Shakti of Brahman. You see why we have a very poor concept about mother. Mother means a female body, very weak. That is our concept of the mother. No, mother have more power than men. We all come from the mother. When this vision ended, an incessant and violent urge for a constant, uninterrupted vision of the Divine Mother's luminous form arose in the Master's heart. Although his longing did not always manifest itself externally, through signs such as weeping, which remained in his heart all the time. Sometimes it would increase to such a point that he would not contain it anymore. Restlessly rolling on the ground with agony, he would pray, "Mother, be gracious unto me. Reveal yourself to me." He would cry so bitterly that people would gather around him to watch. He was completely unconcerned about what people might say when they saw him in that condition. He later said, "I scarcely realized the presence of people around me. They looked more like shadows or painted pictures than real objects. And so I did not feel any shame or embarrassment at all. Sometimes I would lose outer consciousness from that unbearable agony. Immediately after that, I would see the Mother's luminous form bestowing boons and fearlessness. I used to see her smiling, talking, consoling, or teaching me in various ways." Do you know the problem? Problem is, if you have this kind of constant visions and experiences, you will die within 21 days. You cannot live more than 21 days. That the scripture says. You will die. Do you know why you will die? This human body has a limitation, power, cannot hold it. If I touch you 440 electric volt, what will happen? Boom! You will die instantly. 440 or 880 volt, if somebody puts in your body, push, same thing happens. That infinite energy, the divine energy, enters the body, very few people can hold it. Some people will be crazy. Some people will be out of mind. Some people will die. But Swami, then it is better not to come to spiritual life. I like to live. But don't worry, we have a lot of Maya. You see, if constantly, if you read the Bible, you will find when St. Paul was going to Damascus to persecute the early Christians, what happened? A big searchlight fell on him. He was blinded. He could not see. He fell down from the horse. Then Jesus appeared before him. Saul, Saul, why do thou persecutest me? Who are you? I am Jesus. He fell down, unconscious. I'm just telling you that you know that you are, but it comes, if your mind is 100% in that condition. It is not easy, I tell you frankly. But that is our goal. Very interesting. That brings immortality, you will not die. But do you know what? Could you imagine Sri Ramakrishna says, my eyes never closed for 6 months. I never closed my eyelids. Unthinkable in the religious history of the world. That person never slept for 6 months. But he does not need sleep. Do you know why? Because if your mind is in Samadhi, you have so much rest, peace and contentment. Why do we need sleep? Because we are tired, exhausted. His body, his mind does not get tired. It maintains all the time equanimity. That's, I heard some things that once if you have Samadhi, you will never get headache in your life. You will never get headache. You will not have to go to a doctor. One day, Mothur came to the Dakshineshwar unannounced because the temple guards and managers, they complained, this fellow is ruining our temple. Unannounced, he entered the Kali temple during the worship service and watched the master's activities for a long time. Being overwhelmed with devotion, the master did not notice Mothur at all. Every day during worship, he was absorbed in mother. He did not notice who was moving in or out of the temple. Mothur realized this immediately. He further understood the master's childlike, importunate demands on the Divine Mother originated from his sincere devotion. Mothur asked himself, if the mother could not be seen with such unostentatious faith and devotion, then how else could she be realized? Mothur's heart was filled with wonderful joy when he saw how tears trickled down the master's face during worship, and how sometimes he was filled with unbounded joy and sometimes was unconscious, like an inanimate object, unperturbed and completely oblivious of external objects. Mothur experienced a tangible divine presence in the temple and became convinced that Sri Ramakrishna had been blessed by the Divine Mother. He then bowed down to the Mother and her wonderful worshipper with heartfelt devotion and tearful eyes, saying, "Now the purpose of the gorgeous installation has been fulfilled. The Mother has truly appeared here, and her worship has been performed properly." He returned to his Calcutta home without saying anything to the temple officials. The next day, he sent an order to the temple manager. "Let Ramakrishna perform the worship in any way he chooses. Please don't obstruct him." Sometimes we find some people, hypocrites, they pretend, they show, "Oh, I have so much devotion." But seeing a person, you can say that this, kindness, simple, pure. His mind and his speech become one. That you can visualize, that you can see it, you can feel it. When we reach Sri Ramakrishna, Akbar is inside, outside same. Sri Ramakrishna's mode of worship. Rida, his nephew, described the way Sri Ramakrishna worshipped. It is amazing. Sri Ramakrishna was married for 27 years. He lived with his wife only 10 years. Who lived maximum time with Sri Ramakrishna? Avatar, God in human form, you will have to understand. Who lived maximum times? Hriday, his nephew, his cousin's son. From 1855 to 1881, this man lived with Sri Ramakrishna, protected him. It was the Divine Mother engaged him to protect this one. At that time, that complete oblivion of the body. Somebody will feed him, force him, guide him. Otherwise, that person will perish, will die. So he needed Hriday. Strong common sense, creative mind. Hriday recalled, when one entered the Kali temple in those days, one could perceive an ineffable divine presence and feel an eerie sensation, even when uncle was not there, and much more so when he was. I could not resist the temptation of seeing how he acted when he was performing the worship. As long as I was actually watching him, my heart was full of reverence and devotion. But when I left the temple, I would begin to have doubts and ask myself, has uncle really gone mad? Why else would he do such strange things? I was afraid of what the Rani Rashmani and Mothur Babu, the owner of the temple, would say when they came to hear of it. But uncle was unconcerned and paid no heed to my warnings. I did not venture to speak to him much any longer. My mouth was closed by a fear I can't describe. I felt that there was some kind of barrier between us, so I just looked after him in silence as best as I could. But I was afraid he would make a scene someday. He was protecting his uncle because he has self-interest. If Ramakrishna is not there, he will lose the job. What job he was at that time? He was the decorator of the image. That image has many jewelry. Sri Ramakrishna says, I cannot handle those jewelry. Gold, silver, diamond, all over Divine Mother's body, full of jewelry. But I cannot handle those things. So Hriday will take care of it. I shall do the puja. So that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna accepted that job. But I cannot, decoration, shadi, all those things, you could see what a beautiful decoration they do in Dakshineshwar. Sometimes Hriday would visit the temple during worship. Upon seeing the master's actions, he immediately felt awe, fear and devotion. Later he narrated the following to us. I saw uncle taking hibiscus, flower and bay leaves in his hand, touching first his head, then his chest and all over his body, even his feet, and finally offering those at the feet of the Divine Mother. Unconventional. Perhaps you have seen, I take the flower on my head, then I put on the chest, and then I put on the feet of the Mother. And he is taking that same flower, head, chest, all over the body, even his feet. That is very, very unorthodox, and then offer to the Mother. Do you know why? He is seeing that his body and Mother's body are the same. The duality is gone. I am one with the Mother. So my body and Mother's body is the same. Later life, when he was suffering from cancer, he said, do you know what? Two persons live in my body. One is the Mother and the devotee. The devotee is me and Mother. These two persons live inside me. You know, you believe it or not, God dwells in all human beings. Two persons are living in you, in me, in every one of us. That one person is that Paramatma, Supreme Atma, and Jivatma, individual soul and the Supreme Soul. These two persons are living in each human body. The more we go to the Supreme Being, Supreme, that Paramatma, we see that my Atma is a shadow of that Paramatma. Shadow, reflection. I give the reflection. Here is a cup of water. When the sun reflects, what do you see? It's a reflected sun. So these are all reflected gods, according to Vedanta. We are divine. Look what Sri Ramakrishna, what he says. I saw uncle's chest eyes become red, like those of a drunkard. He would get up, reeling from the worshipper's seat, climb onto the altar, and caress the Divine Mother, chucking her affectionately under the chin. He would sing, laugh, joke, and talk with her. Sometimes he would catch hold of her hands and dance. When Swami Vivekananda came and said, sir, all these visions, he was a Brahma, in the beginning. You saw all this hallucination, it is all your hallucination. Bolish kire, ma amar sange kotha bole. Why do you say these things? Don't you know? The Mother talks to me. And you say it is hallucination. I touch Mother, I talk to the Mother, I see her, and you say it is hallucination. I don't take your words. I saw how when he was offering cooked food to the Divine Mother, he would suddenly get up, take a morsel of rice and curry from the plate in his hand, touch the Mother's mouth with it, and say, eat it, Mother, do eat it. Then maybe he would say, you want me to eat it? And then he will eat, some afterwards. All right, I am eating now. Then he would take some of it himself and put the rest to her lips again, saying, I have had some, now you eat. Very unconventional. They will throw you out from the temple then and there if you do this. If I do this, I am out. Shh. And the temple guards, and you see in Devshaneshwar, all his temple guards are there. They are watching what he was doing. The manager, they are watching. Shh. They again complain, went to Rashmani's house in Jan Bazar, that this fellow is ruining the temple, desecrating everything, throw him out. One day, uncle saw a cat at the time of the food offering. It had come into the temple. Mewing, he fed it with the food that was to be offered to the Divine Mother. Will you take it, Mother? He said to the cat. It is called Sarvabhuta Brahma Darshan. He sees God in everything, in every being. Mother is in the cat. Animals, man, everywhere. Some nights I saw that when uncle put the Divine Mother to bed, he would sometimes ask, Mother, do you want me to lie down next to you? All right, I am lying down. Saying so, he would lie down for some time on the Divine Mother's silver bedstead. You know, I had an opportunity in my life, I tell you frankly. The Dakshineshwar people know me. So, I went inside the temple. Then I was asking the priest, hey, why do you put the mother to bed? They were puzzled. Do you like to see? I said, of course. Then, from the east side of the temple, there is a passage. They will go in, then there is another room there. In that room, there is a silver bedstead, fancy bed. Their mother sleeps. So I went there, I took some pictures. I think I have those pictures. Nobody is allowed to go there. But by God's mother's grace, I went there and saw it, that her mother sleeps. Sometimes he would see that those who have gone to Dakshineshwar, they know the ocean side is the Ganges. Sometimes Sri Ramakrishna used to see the Divine Mother, like 8 or 10 years young girl with disheveled hair, watching the Ganges. He's standing near the parapet. Hey, Betty, pode jabi. Hey, girl, you will fall, don't go further. He was on the brink of the parapet. Sri Ramakrishna could see. You know, our eyes are, Sri Ramakrishna's eyes are not the same. You have seen the temple, the construction, this, you know, the temple is getting goosebumps because holding the Divine Mother within. He sees this, even the temple is conscious. We have never heard such things. The temple is holding the Divine Mother, so Mother is so, he is so happy. The temple is happy. Even the temple is getting goosebumps. You know, we have never heard such things. Again, I saw that while uncle performed worship, he was so deeply absorbed in meditation that he had not the slightest outer consciousness for a long time. Every morning when he arose, uncle would pick flowers to make garlands for the Divine Mother. At those times I noticed him talking with someone unseen, laughing, coaxing and joking. I further saw that at night uncle did not sleep at all. Whenever I awoke, I found him in an exalted mood, talking, singing, or immersed in meditation in the Panchabhuti. These are the all eyewitness accounts of Sri Ramakrishna's days in Dakshineshwar. Amazing. Now, the Brahmos came. You know, the socio-religious movement in India in the 19th century. The Brahmas do not believe in the gods and goddesses. They think they're idols. I sometimes tell people, never use the word idol. Say image worship, not idol worship. Idol is a very derogatory word. So they thought, Hindus worship stones and woods. That is the Christian missionary used to preach in India. So, this worship, they believe God without form, but God is all compassionate, all loving, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. That they believe. God has no form, but full of divine qualities. Now, coming in contact with Sri Ramakrishna, they changed their minds. So Keshav Chandra Sen was the leader of the Navavidan Brahmo Samaj, asking Sri Ramakrishna to explain to us what is Kali. So Sri Ramakrishna is talking. It is 27th October 1882. Keshav, describe to us, sir, in how many ways Kali, the Divine Mother, sports in this world. Master, with a smile, oh, she plays in different ways. It is she alone who is known as Mahakali, Nitya Kali, Shmashan Kali, Raksha Kali, and Shyama Kali. Mahakali and Nitya Kali are mentioned in the Tantra philosophy when there were neither the creation nor the sun, the moon, the pale planets, and the earth, and even darkness was enveloped in darkness. Then the Mother, the formless one, Mahakali, the great power, was one with Mahakali, the Absolute. Shyamakali has a somewhat tender aspect and is worshipped in the household, in the Hindu households. She is the dispenser of boons and dispeller of fear. People worship Raksha Kali, the protectress in times of epidemic, famine, earthquake, drought, and flood. Shmashan Kali is the embodiment of the power of destruction. She resides in the cremation ground, surrounded by corpses, jackals, and terrible female spirits. From her mouth flows a stream of blood. From her neck hangs a garland of human hairs, and around her waist is a girdle made of human hands. After the destruction of the universe at the end of a great cycle, the Divine Mother garners the seeds of the next creation. She is like the elderly mistress of the house who has a hodgepodge pot in which she keeps different articles for household use. All laugh. Oh yes, housewives have pots like that where they keep sea foam, glue pills, some bundles of seeds of cucumber, pumpkin and gold, and so on. They take them out when they want them. In the same way, after the destruction of the universe, my Divine Mother, the embodiment of Brahman, gathers together the seeds for the next creation. After the creation, the primal power dwells in the universe itself. She brings forth this phenomenal world and then pervades it. In the Vedas, creation is likened to the spider and its web. The spider brings the web out of itself and then remains in it. God is the container of the universe and also what is contained in it. Sometimes, I think what is called Indiana Jones movie, perhaps you have seen how they describe Kali. I saw that movie, I remember. It is a misrepresentation of that symbol. Do you know what is the problem? Problem is duality in Christianity. God and Satan, good and evil, two different things. Good and evil, two different things. But not in Vedanta. Why? It is the Shakti. The Shakti, if you use right, it will bring good to you. And if the Shakti has a destructive power and constructive power. Swamiji gave a beautiful example. It is the river current. When it is high tide, you call it good. When it is low tide, you call it bad. But same water current. Fire cooks food for your hungry stomach. Same fire can burn your house. Same fire. The same Shakti. We don't have to, that is the way they reconcile the good and evil. The image of Kali. Wonderful symbol. Look, I think I mentioned several times. Our Usha, she wrote a book, the Kali, Black Goddess of Dakshineshwar. I described to her that what the symbol means. She wrote very nicely anyhow. First, look at her hair. Jezebel hair. Do you know what hair means? It means each hair a human being. So all human beings are, all jivas are her hair. Just imagine. 3 eyes, mother knows past, present and future. You see her white teeth, that represents Sattva Guna. Red tongue, that represents Rajaguna. Control your Rajas activity through Sattva. I am just explaining the symbol of Kali. Her color, black. If you go to Pacific Ocean, see in the distance you see blue Pacific. The infinite sees that way because it is formless. Then comes, you see the garlands, apaskas. There are, I think, Panchakshara, but the 50 heads are there, the garlands. That means 50 letters of the alphabet. The whole sound system comes from this, from the mother. The whole universe is nothing but sound and form. Sound and form. As I told you many times, Sat, Chit, Ananda, these three is God, Brahman. Nama, Rupa, name and form. Sound and form, that is Maya. So this is the Shakti and this is God. God and the Shakti. God creates, preserves, destroys through Shakti. This is going on all the time in this world. Construction, creation and preservation and destruction. Then, Mother had 4 hands. Upper right hand is giving, this right hand you see, Vara and Abhaya. He is showing be fearless. And another, boon, she gives boon. Whatever you want, Mother will give to you. Fearlessness and boon, 2 right hand. Upper left hand, the sword, he will cut your Maya, ignorance. And the head means you give up your ego if you want the Mother. Then she does not have any clothes, she is infinite. You will see some around some hands, that is the karma. Mother gives the results of the karma. Then she is standing on Shiva, white. Shiva is symbols of consciousness. So Shiva and Shakti, consciousness and the power of consciousness. That is a symbol of Kali. It is not fearing, and good and evil, both are reconciled in this image. Is Kali the Divine Mother of a black complexion? She appears black because she is viewed from a distance, but when intimately known, she is no longer so. The sky appears blue at a distance, but look at it close by, and you will find that it has no color. The water of the ocean looks blue at a distance, but when you go near and take it in your hand, you find that it is colorless. The master became intoxicated with divine love and sang, "Is Kali, my mother, really black? The naked one, the blackest blue hue, lights the lotus of the heart." The master continued, "Bondage and liberation are both her making. By her Maya, worldly people become entangled in lust and gold. And again, although her grace, they attain their liberation, she is called the Savior and the Redeemer of bondage that binds one to the world." Then Sri Ramakrishna sang another song. The master said, the Divine Mother is always playful and sportive. This universe is her play. She is a self-willed and must always have her own way. She is full of bliss. She gives freedom to one out of 100,000. A Brahma devotee. But sir, if she likes, she can give freedom to all. Why then has she kept us bound to the world? Master, that is her will. She wants to continue playing with her created beings in a game of hide and seek. The running about soon stops if in the beginning all the players touch the granny. If all touch her, then how can the game go on? That displeases her. Her pleasure is in continuing the game. Therefore, the poet says, out of 1,000 kites, at best one or two break free. It is as if the Divine Mother said to the human mind in confusions, with a sign from her eyes, go and enjoy the world. How can one blame the mind? The mind can disentangle itself from worldliness if, through her grace, she makes it turn toward herself. Only then does it become devoted to the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. You know how true it is. We really do not want Mother. If we want Mother, you are going to function in this world anymore. You will go in Samadhi, you will float in bliss. That's what I'm going to say. If you are pregnant, you cannot, in the advanced stage, you cannot function well. That's Sri Ramakrishna gave a very beautiful example. When the daughter-in-law gets pregnant, the mother-in-law reduces her work. When she is 9 months pregnant, my sweet child, you are with baby, please don't work, I shall work. The mother-in-law will tell you. And then, when you give birth to the baby, no work. At that time, you enjoy pension. Sri Ramakrishna says, it is not my words. So, what Thakur says, the same thing. When you become really spiritually pregnant, do you know what will happen? You cannot function. You will be, most of the time, will be absorbed in Samadhi. Your disciples and followers will come and feed you. And the student, she was asking me, she's a professor, Swami, I like to have Samadhi. Then I cautioned her, if you want Samadhi, you will have to hire somebody. Because you will fall and you will break your teeth, you will break your hand. Somebody will have to hold you. Sri Ramakrishna has a hridoy. When Sri Ramakrishna Samadhi, he will grab his uncle. So you hire somebody. Then her husband was a stand, he is also a professor. Swami, I can do that job. Let my wife have Samadhi. I shall hold her. Funny. Very, very interesting the way. Anyhow, Sri Ramakrishna, in 4th June 1883, Monday, it was a fall-hardy Kali Puja. Swami Nikhilananda did not translate some parts. According to the Dakshineshwar tradition, after the puja, they generally entertain with some jatra, theatrical performance, so that all people will stay whole night. You saw the puja, enjoy the performance of the jatra, theatre. So that night, the jatra was not performed. So Sri Ramakrishna was telling the owner of the temple, seeing Trilok is Madhur's son, passing on his way to Kali temple, Sri Ramakrishna asked Rakan to get up. Trilok bowed to the master to Trilok. Was there no jatra performance last night? Trilok, no sir, we could not conveniently arrange it. Master, what is done, but please see that this does not happen again. The tradition of the temple should be properly observed. But from Rani Rashmuni's time, the tradition you must follow. You must entertain the people. Whole night they are there. Trilok gave a suitable reply and went on his way. After a while, Ram Chatterjee, the priest of the Vishnu temple, came to Sri Ramakrishna. Master, well Ram, I told Trilok that the jatra performance should not be omitted again. Was I right in saying that? Ram, what of it, sir? Of course you are right. The tradition should be observed. I shall tell you a story. After the Kali Puja, Sri Ramakrishna, generally in the morning, some prasad will come to Sri Ramakrishna's room. That is called Bharatto. And he was the temple priest, he will get a certain portion of the food which is offered to the Divine Mother. It must come to his room. Food did not come. What? Why it did not come? So he was telling Swami Chetanananda, his disciple. Sri Ramakrishna was restless. The disciple knows that he will not eat that food, perhaps he will take a little and he will distribute among the devotees. Huh? Then he was thinking, perhaps he is a temple priest, he is a very small-minded, all is seeking is prasad, prasad, prasad. How we understand Sri Ramakrishna? No, prasad did not come. So he went to the manager's office. What is the matter? I am supposed to get some prasad. Why did not my prasad arrive? Sir, sorry, we are sending right now. We are a little busy with other things. We are going to send right now. The prasad came. Sri Ramakrishna came back, sat on his bed, and then Swami Chetanananda was seated. Sri Ramakrishna raised his mind that he was thinking the temple priest, a small-minded, they are looking for a little this and that. You know, the prasad comes to my room. I feed the devotees so that they can have some devotion. And those temple priests, the other fellow managers, they will take their food, and some have mistresses. They go and feed them. But the food which come to my room, it goes to the devotees. That way, Rani Rashmani, the owner of the temple, will get some virtue. He is thinking of the owner of the temple who died long ago. That the food which will come to my room, I shall distribute among the devotees so that they will get devotion, and that is the way Rani Rashmani will get some virtue. Not for me. It is for others. You know, if we carefully read Sri Ramakrishna's actions, you can feel there is so deep meaning. Amazing. Anyhow, oh my goodness, 8 o'clock, I shall stop. I just read to you and made some, in this Bengali book there are some extra information which are not in the English book. Swami Nikhilananda thought that there may not be necessary for the Western readers, but there are so many vivid things, small things we can visualize. You see, for visualization, we need some extra information, little, though negligible, may not be with great message, but it helps. We can see the perspective of Sri Ramakrishna's words. Anyhow, so you observed our Kali Puja, then our devotees now will make food. I think already they are making food ready. We shall serve prasad very soon. Please go and relax. Anyhow, it is a very, we started this Kali Puja, a little retreat. Do you know what was in my mind when I first came? It is extremely important to start a tradition. You people come Sunday, give lectures and you go away. So that Durga Puja, Kali Puja, then 1st of January, Kalpataru, we start, I call it mini retreat. 1 hour singing, worship, meditation, flower party. 1 hour class. And 1 hour eating. So enjoy physical plane, intellectual plane, spiritual plane. 3 hours, that is enough for American patients. Some people, you know, morning till night, 3 days, that's too much. Yes. Food is ready. Great. Food is ready. We shall go and we shall chant and then ring the bell. Jai Ma.